Today I'm going to be talking about the Bicycle Collective. The Bicycle Collective is a nonprofit organization that uses donated bikes to give them to people in need. They recycle the bikes, and they also have a place in their shop where you can come in and fix your bike for a very small price or for free. In 2024, they recycled 79 tons of metal and 3 tons of rubber. Their mission is to use refurbished donated bicycles and put them in the hands of those in need. I interviewed my friend Jack Sikowski, who built a bike through the Bicycle Collective at his school when he was really little, and he said it was a very liberating experience just to have a bike that he built himself. The initial observations and first interventions that Colin wanted me to look at were that the Bicycle Collective was not optimal for people in wheelchairs, and he wanted me to try and figure out how they could better be designed for paraplegic cyclists. I talked to Owen, who is the store owner at the Bicycle Collective. He said that when people come in and need their wheels changed on their wheelchairs, they will do that. But other than that, the Bicycle Collective has a very small budget. And while paraplegic cyclists are not something to disregard, they need extremely specific components that the collective can't justify having. Owen mentioned that they have no control over what gets donated, but they do have control on the experience or training given. So with that, I decided to make a redirection, as Owen said that a lot of the community that comes in to fix their bikes are homeless or have certain cognitive issues, but none of the workers have been trained on working with people with cognitive issues. So that was my new intervention that I decided to go with. How do we design the collective to be better suited for people with cognitive impairments? So some potential solutions that I came up with after talking to a social worker was improving communication and instructions, creating a more supportive workspace, strengthening community support and resources, and having inclusive bike donation and distribution. This left me with a lot of different opportunities, and so I decided to prototype by storyboarding. So my first idea was to have them collaborate with a mental health and disability organization. That way the workers and volunteers could be trained by someone that knows a little bit more about what they're talking about. My second idea was to have a dedicated disability-friendly day. So people would come in on a certain day, and that day would be for people with cognitive issues, and this meant different days, different levels of people are coming in. After talking with the employees, they mentioned that instead of having a day where someone could come in, they could have their store opened after hours or before hours for people with cognitive impairments, and at that time have a worker or a volunteer there that knew more about people with cognitive impairments. They mentioned that they have done this with Pride, and now every Wednesday they have an after-hours program where women, transgender, and femme individuals can gather and learn in a more safe and inclusive environment. They mentioned that having visuals would be a very good thing as well. They showed me this book that they have, and the worker, even though he's been working with bikes for a really long time, he still has trouble deciphering them. So that's another option, although I don't know that much about bikes, so I kind of didn't go that route. But then I contacted Beth, Natalie, Shambi, and Sandy, who all work in social work. Beth said that she would love to get involved and have her students in the spring and fall come up with different solutions and work on this project as kind of their occupational project. And then she said like a short-term solution would be going and having staff training, and then a long-term solution would be having like a designated night for people with cognitive impairments. Natalie, Shambi, and Sandy also mentioned that this would be a great service project for their doctorate students, and some ideas they were having were like step-by-step instructions, counseling support, providing training, and different environmental needs within the collective. They want to know more about specific barriers, that the workers were experiencing, such as visual tasks, language barriers, and behavioral barriers. So what comes next? I am going to get Owen and the other contacts in touch with one another and carry out short-term and long-term solutions. And I plan to help out as best I can along the way.